Y'all can't hear me? Thank you. They couldn't hear me over here. Hello. That's what happens when you've been out the mix for a week, y'all. What is happening? Thank you for that. Give me a second, y'all, just for the replayers. I'm going to tighten this up. Hold it, hold up, hold up, hold up. Hey, hey, hey. What's up and welcome. It is Monday. It is Monday time for another Mindset Monday with your girl, Jeanette Smith, certified life strategist and mindset coach. Coming in, blowing kisses, and giving big hugs, hoping everybody is doing well. Our topic for today is about ambition. And I want y'all to get shook when I share with you some of the things that you could be doing or should not be doing to help amp up your ambition. So I hope that you're going to enjoy this today. Going to the room, Miss Leola, good morning. Monique, always looking out. Good to see you. Vonda's in the house, everybody. We got Pamela Gill, Karen Peters. Everybody's doing good. I'm glad to see you all. Shout out to everybody. I have missed you all. Hopefully, if you are part of the Empowerment Tribe, you got my text that I sent out over the weekend, just checking in on you, making sure that you all get a little inspiration while we are apart. If you are not a part of that tribe and you would like to be, all you have to do is text the word release to 22999. Text the word release to 22999, and that's how you can join the tribe. And we have a good time. I just send out texts of, inspiration and motivation, wanting to make sure that we stay connected. And when we do things like pop-ups, and I'll be doing a survey because I know many of us are going back to work, and that really affects, how you do your mornings. And so I'm going to be sending out a survey to find out from you all, like, what is really the best time now to stream? Should I keep it at 10? Should I do a 9 a.m.? I don't know. So I'm going to be asking you all for your input because I want to make sure that the information gets to you and that you all are getting what you need. So now, without further ado, hello, Anthony. Good to see you. Thanks for being in here. Without further ado, I would like to make a call out to a very special group of people. This group of people, I wouldn't trade them for the world because they are known by me as none other than the Share Squad. The Share Squad. Thank you to my Share Squad. Thank you to my Share Squad. This is the time to go ahead and share this post, share this stream, get more hearts and minds in the room. If you know some people that could use a little help boosting their ambition so that they can make better decisions and get closer to their goals, now is the time. So go ahead and share it out with love, invite them in. And when they come in, welcome them. So I know the people that you brought to the room. We want to make sure that we welcome folks. And if you're new to me, I would love to know where you're watching from. Just give me a little shout out and say, I'm new. Tell me where you're watching from so we can shout you out and give you all the love you deserve. Hello, Telly G over here. It's good to see you, Rev. JWMCDO. What's up? So let's talk about this thing, ambition. I want to share from an illustration that I got. I don't know about you all, but I love to watch great TED Talks. Thank you. I see you sharing, Pam. Thanks so much. I love to watch great TED Talks, and I can get awfully inspired by, I say awfully inspired, but sometimes, I'm in awe and I'm inspired by some of the things that people have done and seen and been through. And so I want to share an illustration that I got from How to Achieve Your Most Ambitious Goals from Stephen Denier. It was a TEDx talk from Tucson. And so here's the question to kind of lay the foundation for our topic today. Ambition. Good morning, Kenny. Good to see you. Repping the 256 in Huntsville. I see you. So let's talk about this thing, ambition. All right. So when we're talking about ambition and we're talking about making changes and we're talking about amping things up, some people can give ambition the word a bad rap because it's like, oh, you can be ambitious, but you don't really do anything about it. And that is true. That is true because ambition is fueled by your drive, right? So it's great to be ambitious, but you got to fuel it with something. Like you can have a Ferrari, but if you don't have any fuel, it's just pretty and it's sitting there. And so that's one reason why ambition can get a hard rap. But the other thing is, it is actually an imposing truth that you can be ambitious and lazy all at the same time. You can be ambitious and lazy all at the same time. And if that's you, just type out that's me. If you've ever been that in a season where you've had great lofty goals, you've been really, in many ways inspired to do certain things, but at the same time, you're more committed to your couch. You know what I'm saying? For whatever reason, that is an opposing truth that exists. You can be ambitious and lazy all at the same time. So here's a question that I have for you. I want to know, I want to give you a mindset hack for how you can amp your ambition, fuel it with drive, not get overwhelmed. You can apply this principle to your professional life. You can apply this principle to your personal life, and I can explain it to you in like 15 seconds. Neil says, oh Lord, here we go. I'm stepping on toes today. Kimberly says, I can relate. All right. How many of you, if I asked you to paint this picture of Brad Pitt, I'm showing them a picture of Brad Pitt. If I asked you to paint this picture or draw this picture, sketch it, of Brad Pitt with a pencil and a little block of paper or sheet of paper, how many of you could do that? How many of you could sketch this picture of Brad Pitt with a pencil and piece of paper? I'm going to say, unless you're a professional artist, and some of you do have that creative thing, you could do it. How many? Telly says she could do it. How many of you could do it? All right. Now, for those of you who are going, there's no way I can sketch this. Let me stay with me, because here comes the mindset hack. Stay with me. Here comes the mindset hack. If I said, okay, I don't need you to draw this entire picture of Brad Pitt. I need you to just draw this gray square. How many could do it? Pam says, I would try. Okay. Monique says, I can, but it wouldn't look like him. I think that's most of us. Hey, Tamara over here on IG. Good to see you. Periscope, weigh in, weigh in. Kimberly says, we all probably can, but the accuracy would be a different story. Right. But how many of you could draw this gray square? If I said, just draw this gray square, I'm thinking that the best of us and the worst of us could all draw one gray square. If you agree with that, just say yes, yes. If you know, I could draw a gray square. Telly G says, Brad Pitt as Benjamin Buttons, maybe. That's hilarious on IG. That is hilarious. What's up, Periscope? I see you. Tap out those hearts and kiss my cheeks. I love it. I love it. That's what I think you're right, Telly G. We could all draw it and he would be looking like that. But I see you all over here saying, yes, yes, I could draw this gray square. Yes, yes, I could draw it. Thank you, Kenny. Thank you, Monique. Thank you, Kimberly. Thank you, Pam. So if you can draw that one gray square, Candace says she could. And Vonda says she could. Absolutely. I think we could all draw a gray square. So if you can draw one gray square, you can draw this 9 gray squares, right? You could draw 9 gray squares. And if you draw 9 or 10, you could do 30, 60, right? You could do 120. You could do 240. You could keep multiplying that out until you keep drawing these gray squares. And then look, they're seeing a progression. I'm showing the little gray squares. They're all adding up to now Brad Pitt's eye. And now you have drawn Brad Pitt, right? Daryl said he would draw Brad Pitt as looking like Brad It. That's hilarious. Hilarious. So do you see my point? We get overwhelmed in the doing and our ambition takes a hit and then our drive goes to zero because we look at approaching something in this whole big, overwhelming, overly complex type of task instead of breaking it down to its least common denominator and sharing it out one gray square at a time, right? Sue Ring says, so true, so true. That's my point. None of us, except for you artists out there, could draw a whole picture of Brad Pitt. But if you drew one square, 10 squares, and while you're out there, and I know that there's some of you going, how practical is that? I mean, does that even really count in terms of art? It really does count in terms of art. It absolutely does. I want you to take a look at this guy. I've forgotten his name. I'll put it in the thing. But he has built a whole career of his professional art by drawing portraits one square at a time. What's up, Ski? Taylor, what's happening? Candace says, I'm going to jump at drawing him and pay attention to the detail, but he may come out looking like Morgan Freeman. Yep. And I hear Monique say guilty, that we all get overwhelmed by our ambitious goals. We all get overwhelmed by the complexity of the end game, that we don't take time to figure out, how do I just inch my way toward it? This gentleman does just that and gets paid very well to do that, right? And so look, you see how he pops people out a little bit at a time, until he draws entire photos. And so it's only your perspective about how you value how the work gets done that holds you back. If you think it doesn't count because you start one square at a time on your own goal, then you won't value it. And then you'll say it doesn't count. And then you'll get overwhelmed and you won't do it at all. That's not what's up, right? You got to value that. In fact, I've talked to many of you in the Empowerment Tribe about the 2mm move, how Tiger Woods had to, at a time in his career where he had been sitting on top, gotten a bunch of green jackets, and all of a sudden he was just tanking. Had coaches come in, sports coaches, empowerment coaches, people like Anthony Robbins, and they came in and they had to talk to him about his swing. And, it can be a great metaphor for our life. We keep doing what used to work for us early in our life, thinking we're going to get the same results later in life. It might not even be, seasons of life. It might be a season of life, not like decades of your life, a season of your life. You keep trying to do what you did in one season and thinking, oh, I can keep doing this and this will get me the results for this next. No, he had to shift his grip, and it was just a 2mm shift. Like just a 2mm shift. And that 2mm shift is what did it for him, changed everything, and got him back in the winning game. So I say to you, if you have been low on ambition, if you have been struggling to get the drive you need to fuel those ambitious goals, maybe it's time you look at this sucker like a 2mm move, one gray square at a time. Monique says she's guilty. Good morning, Helen. Monique says, how you value how the work gets done. You're chewing on it. Yes. We have to look at how we value how the work gets done. Tania, I see you in the green room. Did you have something to add to this about how you are working on your ambitious goals? Hello. Tania?
Hello. Can you
Hi.
hear me?
Did you mean to come on live, or did you just get scooped?
Well, I thought there didn't seem to be any other way, so I'm here.
Oh, bless you. Well, listen, now that I got you on, you get to play with me today. We're talking about ambitious goals. I know you've been hearing me, right?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So, do you relate to having situations or circumstances where, you have a goal, but maybe it gets overwhelming? And so you end up kind of not pursuing it, or not pursuing it to the best degree that you could. Does that relate to you at all?
The overwhelming experience I do experience quite often.
Yeah.
So what I try to do is try to break them up into nuggets or steps and try to finish each step at a time. And sometimes that works. Um, but I'm finding with this new particular position that I'm in, it's not really working because it's a relatively new position. So at the same time that I have these new ideas on
Hmm.
how to approach it, I gather newer ideas and I pile it on top of what I already have.
Gotcha.
So I'm not quite sure how to battle that when you're in something new and you keep coming up with new ideas and it's like you never finish. And then that becomes that overwhelming feeling that doesn't go away. It's like, okay, am I, you know, am I suddenly not maybe qualified to be here because I can't seem to finish or
Right.
get it together? So that's where I am.
I got it. And I'm so grateful that you're sharing that. How many of you all can relate to her? If you can, just type yep or yes, yes in the chat for support. There's tons of us that have that experience. And in fact, Tania, every time we go from one level to our next, every time we level up, we always have that moment where we go, am I qualified to be here? I've talked about imposter syndrome before, even where you're going to feel a little uncertainty because you mastered the last level, right? You had that down. And then we move to the next level, and there's a learning curve, and there always is. But sometimes, depending on how steep that curve is, it can make us second guess ourselves. Monique says, yes, yes, I can relate. Pamela says, yes, yes, I can relate. So you're not standing in this by yourself, Tania. Sue says, yes, yes, I can relate too. So let's take a look at that, because what I hear, Tania, is a couple of things. And thank you, because it's fortuitous you came on. You are really right up the alley with the points I wanted to share today. So if you'll take our ambitious goals and we shrink them down to, Tania says, I take them into small, actionable items, which is great. That's what we want to do. That's the concept of the whole gray square, breaking that Brad Pitt photo down into one gray square. It's the one step at a time, but then there's another part of the process. You take the big concept, you take the complex idea, you take all of that, and you break it down into manageable tasks, which I hear you say you're doing pretty well. But then after that, we also have to stop and do assessment and be willing to make marginal improvements, like that 2 millimeter adjustment I was talking about on Tiger Woods' grip, right? So his grip was working. He was winning for a long time. And so at some point, before you start adding new things, Tania, because what I also hear you doing is stacking. Like you start doing something new, but then you get new ideas and then you stack that on top. Perfect the one thing you started with. Perfect that, because it may not be that it's not working. It may be that you just need to keep perfecting that one thing. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So then instead of adding new to new to new, you're going to master the one great new idea that you had, look at it, see what adjustments may need to be made, because maybe it's not that it's not working. It just needs an adjustment. And then after you make that adjustment, then you try it again. You make another assessment. After you make another assessment, then you go back and you try it again. And after you try it again, you see, do I need to make another assessment? And so on and so on and so on until you get that thing perfected. Now that can apply to anything that we're working in, you all. Like sometimes I want to read books. Like I want to devour books, but because of my work and because of things that I'm doing, sometimes it just gets overwhelming. So I have to stop and say, okay, I'm not going to get overwhelmed because I want to read this whole book right now. I want to eat it. I'm going to dedicate 15 minutes. And I used to not value that because it's like, who sits down and reads for 15 minutes? That's not a serious reader. You don't just sit down and read 15 minutes. But what I can do is I can promise myself that 15 minutes of time. How many of you can relate? I give myself this 15 minutes of time. I'm going to sit down to that. Or I'm going to read one page. I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but you have to build up your ambitious muscle. You have to build up that muscle, or else you'll get overwhelmed and you'll stack up books in your bookcase that have never been read, because you get to a place where you just felt good because you bought the book, but then you never read it. So I take my gray square approach. Hack is 15 minutes or 5 pages. And then the next time, maybe I do another thing and I add another gray square until I have read a chapter. And then I build momentum from there. And that allows us not to just have big, ambitious goals, but to actually fuel them by drive and action. Drive and action. So Tania, I would love if you would come back on another Mindset Monday. And now that you're got this kind of insight about, maybe it's not that what I'm doing is not working. Maybe it's not about me not being unqualified. Maybe it's about me looking at what I'm doing, taking a chance to assess it, maybe tweak it before I start adding new things. It's almost like cooking. Like sometimes you can taste something, you want to start adding a bunch of stuff to it, but you might want to think about, what do I need to tweak on what I already got in here first? Because maybe it just needs to be mixed a little more. Maybe the seasonings just need to be blended in a little more before I add more stuff to it, right? So I would love it. Would you be willing to come back, Tania, and talk to us about maybe some insights as you kind of walk this out in practical terms?
I can try to make that commitment. Sure.
I love how she said that, y'all. I can try to make that commitment. Well, listen, if you're ever in here on a Mindset Monday, I would love, just let me know that you're in the chat. I would love, because what you're doing is you're helping us relate to it in real time. I can give all of the examples from my life, but I love it when you all share, because you are the empowerment tribe, which means it's not just about me sharing and empowering y'all, but you empowering each other. So thank you for what you shared today to help other people. I appreciate you.
I appreciate being here. I appreciate you as well. I'm glad that I got the invite. I don't know who I got the invite from, but it randomly showed up in my feed. And I've listened to you before, so this isn't the first time. But
I got you. Okay, so I know what happened. I put out we have a little thing where we dance in the morning on Mindset Mondays, and somebody clipped that link and sent it to you to come into the broadcast studio instead of the link to watch, to share the show. So however you got here, I call it divinely orchestrated, because you had exactly what we needed to hear this morning. So thanks so much. I'm gonna put you back in the green room so you can keep listening if you'd like to. Okay.
Either way is fine. I can be quiet.
You're good. All right. Thank you, darling. Appreciate you. That was awesome. I loved that. Thank you for whoever invited Tania. She had some golden gems. Hello, Wendy. Good to see you this morning. Yes. Thanks for the advice, Fonda. And I'm so glad that she shared. So let's talk a little bit more about this thing, ambition, because I've got some tips today. Tamara says, yes, on IG. I've got some tips today because I talked about building that muscle. If we can draw Brad Pitt from one gray square at a time, there's a lot of other stuff that we can get done, right? There's a lot of other stuff that we can get done. And yes, good morning. And so let's look at that. First of all, I want to ask a question because I want to bring it home to you. Tania shared her experience, but I want to ask you, what is the 2 millimeter change you need to make to help you make better decisions and flow in better success? What is it? What is that 2 millimeter change you need to make? What is that 2 millimeter change you need to make for better decisions so you can flow in better success? I want you to think about that. All right. Think about that. Now, I want to share with you some ideas, some concepts, and some tips that can help with that. Because I get it. Sometimes it's like, if I only knew kind of what to do, I could get at it. Well, that's what I'm here for, y'all. So let's see if we can get at it. I'm going to share my screen with you. Let's take a look at these 10 tips. Boop, bip, boop. Okay. First one, you see it? Take risks. Take risks. We don't always want to do that. And I know why, because it's scary. We've talked about this before. So, that's not anything new. But I just want you all to know that if you're wanting growth and really see measurable change, you're going to have to be willing to take some risks. Taking risks can be scary, but if you want to develop this ambitious mindset, you got to be willing to step into your fear, lean into it, ignore your anxiety, and just decide to move forward in spite of your feelings. Fear means you're attempting something you've never achieved before, so it's natural, right? These moments are also where you grow and learn. Ambition requires you to push past your fears. And when you allow yourself the grace to experiment and not judge yourself on it, that's when you have a better tolerance for the unknown and the unfamiliar. You have to be willing to take some risks. I see Pamela welcoming her daughter Simone and Ty and Sister Anna Graves in the room. Great to have you all with us. Thanks so much. What's up? I see you, brother. Good to have you, Steve. All right. So listen, it's scary. We don't like it. I get it. But you got to be willing to take some risk. Now, as we're talking about these tips and how you can fuel your big ideas and how you can fuel, the dreams and desires of your heart, I want you to know that there is never any judgment as we go through this list. As you start looking, you may say things like, oh, I should have known that, or, oh, I should have been doing that. I get it. We all have been there, but that doesn't mean that you are not successful. That just means you're coming into new revelation, and yay for you for coming into new revelation. That's what it's all about. That's what we're here for. If you knew it already, we're all always growing. And sometimes it's not that you don't know a thing. Sometimes it is that you know a thing, but you need to be reminded of a thing. And so I always feel a strong sense of responsibility to share that with you, because I know there's a lot of us, especially you perfectionists. I'm recovery, so I know I'm recovering perfectionist, that we give ourselves a hard time because we're like, oh man, we should have known that. I should have been doing that. I could be coaching. I just gave somebody else that advice just the other day. Listen, it ain't no thing. Just know that, okay, now that I've been reminded of this, I can go back and I can make more sense of it and apply it in my life in a way that's more meaningful and that can now bring me, better success. So nobody's tripping. All right. We're not going to be tripping. Thank you for the hearts on Instagram. I see you. I see you. I see you. I see you. All right. So let's go to our tips again, our next tip. So taking a risk, major, but you can do it. And don't let anybody talk you out of it. And listen, even if you make a mistake, just know this. Making a mistake is part of the process. I remember we talked about how we value how we get somewhere. I think that a ton of us judge our outcome based on the mistakes along the way. And let me just say, you could talk to any person who has achieved any measure of success in their life, and they're going to tell you this one thing: I made a ton of mistakes. I got it wrong. I didn't always get it right. I didn't know what I was doing. They're absolutely going to tell you about all the mistakes they made. So listen, I don't know why we're so hard on ourselves, but we got to learn to do better about that. Grace and space for the learning, because that is a big part of the process. All right, I see you in the chat room. Peggy Ann says she's listening. Michelle says she's here this morning. We're talking about ambition. Back to our tips. All right. Our tips. Boop. All right. So number 2, seek out different perspectives. Seek out different perspectives. I'm going to tell you why this is a hard one, because we don't want to hear different perspectives. We say we do, but we don't always want to hear differing perspectives, because sometimes we're afraid that our spirit can't take it or it's just going to shut us down. But when you're willing to consider new ways of thinking and you make a conscious effort to develop your skills in that way and to seek the advice and the perspective, it doesn't mean you're wrong. It's just giving you another perspective, a different angle. Then you learn how to learn from others and talk with people who disagree with you. You don't have to take a hit to your self-worth because somebody offered you a different perspective. You learn, you listen, what's useful to you. Take that in, dialogue, weigh it. Some may stick, some may not resonate with you. And then what do? You toss it. Hey to everybody coming in over here on IG. I see you, Deshelle. I see you, Eric. I see you, Mug. I see you, Anthony. So don't be afraid of differing perspectives. This is going to help you grow and appreciate the diversity of thought, right? And that's how we really grow. Eric on IG says that is so key to growth. It absolutely is. So key to growth. All right. Kenny says, yes, yes, essential for growth. I know it can be tough though, y'all. And I know, I get it. I've been in those, we all have been in a position where you're committed to something in a very strong and deep way, in a soulful way. And anything that comes against what you're thinking about it, you kind of get that little weird tingly feeling in the back of your neck. You're like, I don't know about that. But trust me when I tell you, it's all good, because either people will help you see something that can take it from good to great, or it may be something that's a great advice for not now, maybe for later, or it just doesn't work for you. It doesn't resonate for you. Right? But it doesn't mean that it's not valuable. Number 3, set goals, but keep them private. Now, I know that this sounds counterintuitive, but I need you to hear me on this. This is something that I'm learning. Now, I used to be motivated by telling people my goals, certain people my goals, because it's almost like you've made this commitment and you're like, hey, this is the thing I'm going to do. And now you're like, I can't let them down. I can't let me down. So I'm going to do it. Right? But our brain is a funny thing. So when I studied this out more from a psychological standpoint, Neil says privacy is the key. Because you don't want people killing your dreams and pooping all over, your aspirations. But the other thing about this is sometimes you have to work hard to overcome the coping mechanism that our mind operates in. I call it the gym membership. I call it the gym membership downfall, because you once you tell the people about a goal, your brain kind of experiences the satisfaction. The dopamine is released, all those feel-good hormones are released, and it releases the satisfaction as if you've done it already when you haven't done a thing. That's why I call it the gym membership downfall, because you want to lose weight, so you go to the gym, they give you the tour, you buy the membership, you release all these endorphins that tell you, yes, good for you. You joined the gym, as if that just instantly made you lose 30 pounds and you haven't lost a thing, not one thing, but you feel good because you bought the membership. So be careful about that. Don't go, do the balance between sharing it with people that can hold you accountable and who can be cheerleaders on your sideline. But Eric on IG said, oh, snap, that gym membership. That's a gym. Oh, yes, it's real. It's real. We get to feeling good about our intention versus what we actually do. And so that's why shopping, side note, for those of you who deal with, impulse shopping and deal with emotional shopping, even emotional eating, those things, the shopping, especially when you buy it, it makes you feel good in that moment, but then it doesn't really address the thing that's going on with you. So just something to keep in mind. Don't let that gym membership, trick you into thinking that you've actually made a decision that is fueled by drive and action, because you'll be sitting up at the end of the year with your gym membership and your 40 pounds still on you, right? Number 4, let's focus on the work. So important. Let's focus on the work. There's nothing that can take the place of this for any reason at any time. You can be as ambitious as you want to, but if you don't focus on the work, that's going to be the problem. And that's why, in all honesty, ambition gets a bad rap, because most people sit on their ambitions, but they don't do what it takes to bring those things into fruition, right? You've got to focus on the work. Neil says, can it also be the need for approval that what you're doing is good? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But I always tell you this, the best way to get approval is to get it done. People may or may not like your idea because they may or may not even understand your vision. But if you just get it done, even the baby steps, that's going to get you a large measure of approval, if that's what you're seeking. But the greatest approval you should be getting is from what inside yourself, in the divinely inspired place within you. So number 4, when I talk about focusing on the work, if you have a true growth and ambition mindset, you understand the importance of getting it done. Even when your plan is isn't clear, even when it hasn't been all thought out, you just get started by doing something. It's just like I was saying with that whole book thing, give it 15 minutes. And at least in the 15 minutes, you get something done. Can't paint a whole picture of Brad Pitt? Do that one gray square. That one gray square will get it done. Hey, Dawn. Hi, Eve. Hello, you guys. Great to see you. Kenny says, yes, got to focus on the work. So don't be afraid to pull the trigger. Just start. Just start. Just start. So much of what you could be doing and what you could be flowing in, you could be so much further if you would just start. Stop trying to perfect it. Had a client that was an author that had to admit, the reason I can't get going on my book is because I want to edit it to final draft as I'm writing it. Who does that? Nobody. We can't do that. You have to write. Those of you who are published know. You have to write, get it all out. Then you go back and tweak and play. But to try to do it in its perfected form, and I thought it's a great analogy for how many of us fall flat for our dreams, because we want to have the perfected thing. We don't want to launch the podcast till it's perfected. We don't want to start streaming till it's perfected. We don't want to write the book till it's perfected. Dawn said, that's me. Whew, Lord. We don't want to get started till it's perfected. I'm going to tell you, it ain't going to happen, right? So lovingly, I'm encouraging you as your internet coach to just focus on the work and get started. Number 5, surround yourself with ambitious people. So important. So important. And I'm not talking about just people who are ambitious about themselves, right? I'm talking about people who are ambitious, but they also can fuel and feed into your ambitions as well. Because when you place yourself in the proximity of people with strong ambition and you see people going after their goals, there's a certain energy that they vibrate at. There's a certain level of stick-to-itiveness that you're going to feel. That all of that has an energy about it that you can feed off of. And they say that you are the sum total of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So look at the 5 people that you spend the most time talking with and sharing time with, and do the math. High achievers put themselves around high achievers. And that might mean sometimes you might have to, get a new circle around you. I'm not saying dump your friends and family. I am saying other people that you could be spending time with, you might need to divvy up your time so that you're not only talking to friends and family that are at a certain place. You need to spend time with people who are doing it. That's why I love our content creators class for those who are streamers, because iron sharpens iron. We get differing perspectives. We look at each other's stuff. We analyze, we assess, we look at what's going to take us to the next level. And I guarantee you the people who, and that stands true for any coaching or any therapy session or anything. When you get somebody that's going to challenge you and you get people around you who are going to help feed your ambitions, not just by blowing smoke and just puffing you up, but because they too are making it happen. That is a key to you growing your ambition mindset. Got to do it, because you can be ambitious. Remember the opposing truth. You can be ambitious and lazy, but there's something about being around people who don't just talk the talk, they walk the walk, that helps you keep walking the walk too, right? Check your folks around you. Check your folks around you. Tania says, finding people is difficult, especially during social distancing, but I struggled with that before COVID. Any ideas on how to upgrade my group? That's a great idea. The beauty of it, Tania, for that question is this, that we are all kind of in a virtual space. Many of us are going back to work, but let me just say, because we're living in virtual times, you can join meetups online. You can join support groups online. You can find groups that are akin to whatever professional goals or professional, aspirations you have, as well as, personal things. Find groups, look at the ratings, sit in, feel it out. Is that your vibe? Maybe not, whatever. And bounce. But there's so many ways now, even like doing this. That's what I love about the Empowerment Tribe. I offer the Empowerment Tribe because that's a group of people who are always going to be supportive, right? And if you all aren't a part of the Empowerment Tribe, you can join the Facebook group here by going to facebook.com/groups Empowerment Tribe. I don't even charge for that. Many coaches charge for you to have exclusive membership into their Facebook groups. Nope, I just say, come on. We empower each other. I share other things from the streams. At the end of the streams, I might have some other attributes or some resources and things that I share in there. And then it's peer-to-peer empowerment. So that's just one example of groups and things that you can do, Tania, to find the professional groups or the people that are doing what you're doing, who can speak into that place in you that needs encouragement, insight, education, information. So I hope that is something that resonates with not only Tania, but all of you. Find your tribe. Find the tribe that can help you build your dream and level up your game and how you think, right? So important. Let's look at number 6. Number 6, build solid connections. This is a part of that team, but your network of connections is synonymous, they say, with your net worth, right? Your network is synonymous with your net worth. Hey, Jessica. Hey, Headquarter Barbershop. What is your network like? What is your network like? It's not about getting loud and arrogant and trying to be better than anybody. That's not it. People who are getting it done let their work do the talking. They let the success do the talking. Neil, this is what we were talking about. Just be in that class of people who are getting it done. Exchange information with people. When you're online and you see people that are doing things, reach out. You never know who will reach back to you. Reach out and see if you can make a connection. All you can say is, oh, no, I don't really have time. Okay, what's that going to do? They haven't taken anything from you. Hey, Judy. But building that network, building that tribe, very, very, very important. I'm going to move on to 7 because I feel like we kind of talked about that a lot in the other thing about checking the people around you. Be passionate about your personal growth. That's why I love the Empowerment Tribe. That's what we come together every day to do here. We come together to fuel each other with information, and then we talk it out. How are we working it out practically in our own lives? Just like Tania shared today. That's what we do. Oh, Miss Leola says, that's why we love you so. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. And Miss Pam's got her brother Sean and Sandra, some folks in the house. Thanks for the invite. Evangeline says, hang around like-minded people. You got to. But not only like-minded people, hang around people who are aspiring higher, who are doing it at a better level than you are. See, a lot of times we won't do that because we get intimidated. Gonna make me look bad. No, nobody's gonna make you look bad. You're gonna inspire and level up. You never get to the next level by sharpening your iron against people that are doing it less than you are. You're always going to sharpen your iron by being inspired by those who are doing it at a higher level. And there's so many resources online. You can go to YouTube University. You can take e-courses. You can get into coaching groups. There's so many ways to be and build that. Your personal growth is just as important as your physical health, because your personal growth is the mindset that's going to help you hold and maintain any successes you get in your professional life, in your physical life, in your spiritual life. Your mindset about it is what's going to keep all of that together. So continue to work on your skills, continue to work on your leadership, your personality, your ways of thinking, your growth mindset, right? You got to be able to look at the flaws and lesser strengths that we have and say, I need to pick that up a little bit. Don't just, give it an excuse, slap a excuse Band-Aid on it and say, no, address it. Address that thing. Some things you can only take to a certain level, but there are some lesser strengths that we can level up on. But you got to be in that position where you're not going to tolerate it. You can, I can do better. You got to be able to call yourself out. I can do better. Can I do better? Yeah, I can. I can do better. Number 8, I love, and it's so, so key. Be creative. Be creative. A lot of us are not getting ahead because we're being overthinkers and we're not leaning on our creative faculties. Quit trying to overthink stuff. Be creative. I love the saying, those who run with the crowd often get lost in it. What's up, Silky Plus Size? Be creative. Shout out to all my creatives out there. All right. Ambitious folks don't run in the crowd. You got to be passionate about being able to stand in your uniqueness and your individuality, because that is not the status quo. When you stand on your own uniqueness and individuality, you are going to be out the box. You're going to step out the box. You're not going to look like everybody else. And that's okay. That's what you want. You have to use that creativity in a way and that has you asking the question, why not? When somebody says, why are you doing that? I can't even believe you. Why not? Why can't I? Why wouldn't it work? Why can't I do that? Right? Be compelled by your unique drivings, your innovative ways of thinking. These are the people that wake up in the middle of the night because that boop, light bulb goes off and you are compelled to write down that idea, write down that. How many of you have done that? You get this idea and you write it down or you don't. Some of you don't write it down. Honor your ideas, honor your creative faculty. You disrespect your creative faculty when you don't write ideas down. It's like I'm churning these great ideas out, these divine inspirations, and you won't even write it down. And then you're mad at me because you forgot it. Honor yourself. Honor yourself and your creative faculty by writing down those great ideas. You have the potential, once you take that, to wrap your ambition around it, fuel it by your drive, get it done, and make those things happen. I promise you. Number nine, be self-sufficient and responsible. Be self-sufficient and responsible. Now, let me say what number 9 means and what it doesn't mean. Yes, it's important about the people you have around you. Yes, it's important to have tribe and connections. And absolutely, you need to check the 5 people you have around you most. Okay. But at the same time, don't be that guy, that gal who sits around and goes, I'm waiting to be discovered. I'm waiting for this to happen. I'm waiting for somebody to offer me this. I'm waiting for this. I'm waiting for that. Why are you waiting? Be sufficient, self-sufficient, and responsible. When you're filled with ambition, we don't shift the blame on somebody else for why we're not succeeding, right? Tons of us have wanted to do different things and said, hey, you know what? I want to do this. I want to have a show. I want to do this. I'm not waiting. I'm not waiting for somebody to offer me a show. I'm doing what I love to do, which is empowering and inspiring people in original ways. And I show up and I do that. And I just trust that as I keep drawing my gray square, that'll lead to something else. And then that'll lead to something else. And then that'll lead to something else, which then leads to something else, which leads to something else. Right? So that's the type of mentality we have to have about our success, where we take full responsibility for our current circumstances. Get creative, get solution oriented. Because I promise you, a lot of what is happening in terms of our ability to take our ambition and wrap it into something that is meaningful, what's standing between that and you meeting your goals and your dreams is how you approach problems and the decisions you make to solve them. What stands between you and your dream is how you approach problems and the decisions you make to solve them. That's it. That's why I'm always trying to talk about better decisions for better living. Because how you choose to solve your problems and the quality, think back to what I shared with you about Tiger Woods. He just made a 2-millimeter decision to shift his grip just a little bit, made all the difference in the world. There's something that you could be doing, a 2-millimeter move that you could be making that could shift the trajectory of your success. What is it? What is it? Go figure it out. Remember, what stands between you and your dreams is how we approach the problems, then the decisions that we make to solve them. All right. Number 10, I felt like that one landed on y'all really good. I could feel the energy shift. Like, whoo, I got it. Number 10, now is the time. There's never going to be this better time. There's never going to be this better day. You're never going to have the best resources situation. It's never going to be where you're going to feel like everything is in perfect alignment. It's not going to be that. It's going to be the now. Give your ambition to what's in front of you right now. Don't waste time worrying about every minute of the moment and trying to be perfected in it. Just maximize your potential in this moment. Quit worrying about the past. The past is the past. We learn from it. We apply everything that we've learned, and we try to avoid repeating those mistakes. But our future absolutely depends on us putting into action what we are learning now. Now is the time. I have a great little YouTube clip that I've posted for you all periodically. I may put it back up in the Empowerment Tribe group page, where I got off a client call with somebody and I just kept talking about now. What are you waiting for? It's a now. Do it now. I can't emphasize this much more than that. It's about the now, people. You're going to look up. We're already in September. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? We're in September, and we blinked and we were in March, and then we looked up and it was September. We're going to blink again and we're going to be talking about Happy New Year. What are you going to accomplish between now and the end of the year? What is it that can be done? What is it that you can do? What are those 2mm moves that you can make? What are those things that you can do to make a difference? That's what it's about, y'all. That is what it's about. I see you. Steve says, it's like Nike. Just do it. Absolutely. Just do it. Just do it. Just do it. I hope that this fed your spirit today in this realm of ambition, because I'm telling you all, I started thinking about what we needed to hear today. And a lot of you, it's not drive that's missing. You have the drive. You just don't have ambitious goals anymore. You're not reaching for things that are hard to get, that are above your ability to figure them out in your own natural strength. Yes, run to the roar. Absolutely. Run to the roar. And for that, we're letting ourselves down because we got to figure it out. The more ambitious our goals, the higher you're going to reach. The higher you reach, the more you're going to accomplish. Hi, Ramona. So we've got to start getting more ambitious about our goals, and not just in that gym membership way I was talking about, but in the ways that really matter, where you take that ambition, you wrap it around your goals and dreams, you break it down into handling it one bite at a time until you build up into your completion. Leola says, great 2.0 Mindset Monday. I love it. I'm loving that you love it. And now, you all, I would love to bring a friend of mine on who has a project, a passion project going. It's your opportunity to make a difference. And I love the Empowerment Tribe because we are always looking for ways to not only empower ourselves and do better for ourselves, but we're always also looking for ways to help others. And so I'm going to ask you all to get your radical hospitality out and give it up. Neil says, I'm going to go on a limb and say this episode will get a lot of replays. That's what the replay is for. That's awesome. I'm glad you're loving it. I would love for you all to get your radical hospitality out and welcome my dear, dear sister friend, Eva Jane Bunkley, to the stream this morning. Hello, my beautiful one.
Hello. Hello. Good morning, everybody. Thank you, Jeanette. It has been, I would have done it up a little more for you, but I've really been trying to work on this project.
Girl, you're fine. You're totally fine. Let's talk about it. I'm going to put your page up. I'm going to put the page up to GoFundMe. Let's talk a little bit about what's going on. You're looking for a safe space. You found an used RV for your neighbors who had a house fire. Everybody's saying welcome. So yes, thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, my neighbors 2 doors down Wednesday night came home from dinner to find just all of the neighbors out in the yard, the whole fire department there. They had a fire that they think emanated from an unused electrical outlet in the downstairs bathroom that just, I guess, sparked and basically destroyed everything. There weren't a lot of flames per se, but from where the flames were in the walls, the smoke just went all through the house, destroyed everything. Firefighters, of course, had to do a lot of poking and prodding through the roof, through ceilings, all of that. And everything in the house was destroyed. So it's basically going to have to be pulled down from the studs and everything in order to replace what they had. They've been in the house 20 years. For whatever reason, they have no insurance. It's a complicated situation, and I'm just trying to do my part to help as best I can. And I had a little hiccup this morning that has me a little bit rattled. So please excuse me.
What's going on?
Someone gave a donation and they gave it to one of my old email addresses. And I'm trying to find it. It's gone. I don't know if that email was hacked because I haven't used it in so long, but it was a significant donation. And I'm like, it's just kind of shaking me. So now I'm just like, I don't know where the problem lies. So yes, the GoFundMe page is up there, but at this point I'm reaching out everywhere. I'm reaching out to GoFundMe because I'm like, I didn't even realize that email address was in the GoFundMe. It shouldn't have been. So now I'm just trying to backtrack. So I knew I was coming on here to tell everybody about it. And I know, right now people are like, oh, well, I want to act right now. And I feel bad because I have to say, can you please not? Because I want to make sure, because there's almost $2,000 I've raised since Thursday when I put up the GoFundMe. I'm trying to get $7,500 to purchase this RV for them that I found. So they'll have a safe, at least, place to be able to be while their house is cleared out, especially and during the renovations, because right now it's toxic. The environment, I mean, you walk towards the front door and you can smell the fumes. The wife, Veronica, it's a husband and wife and their 19-year-old daughter. She was in the house cleaning it out and throwing up because of all of everything. And my heart just kind of goes out to them just for the situation they're in. They're beautiful people. I don't even really, Wednesday, I've been their neighbor over 17 years. I've actually never really talked to the husband. I've seen him he goes to work in the morning. He comes home late at night. I don't even see him. I see the mother. I see the daughter. I've interacted with them through the years, and even.
But that's how it is. That's how it is for a lot of us neighbors. So let's do this.
Yeah.
Let's pull it, because I can feel it on you. I can feel it on you. Let's breathe. Wait, let's just breathe.
Thank you.
Just breathe. Because changing at work and trying to do good and help people is sometimes messy. It's sometimes messy. So here's what we know. We know that you'll get it sorted out.
I will.
You'll get it sorted out. What we will do is we will give love and support. Yep, it'll come to you. Absolutely. Your blessing from God. It's God inspired. Just soak up the love. Because right now what you need, baby, is you just need to let them love on you. Okay. And hiccups happen. Things happen. You are an integrous woman. I know her. Listen to me, you all. I stand for her. I stand by her, that she is a woman of integrity. She wouldn't do anything wrong with anybody's money. So when she gets it sorted out, we will put the GoFundMe right now. We'll just tell you to follow her. So, because she's been doing live streams and different things from their place, right? Mm-hmm. You can follow the story for yourself. And you can also use your own discernment about whether this is something that God's calling you to be a part of or not. All right. But we will support you. We will follow you. We will love you. And when it's time to, because she didn't have to come on here and share that. She didn't even have to tell us that. But that's the level of transparency and the level of integrity that she walks in. So we will follow you on social media. It will all work out for the good. That's right. We'll follow you on social media. Where do you want them to follow you, honey, so that they can keep track?
My Facebook page is the easiest place. You can, Eva Jane Bunkley. Because if you send, even if you just follow me or whatever, yeah, then you can see, because I keep them public. I keep the updates public.
Okay,
on
that's
them.
good. Okay.
Yeah.
So follow her at Eva Jane Bunkley on Facebook.
Yeah.
And that way you'll stay in the loop.
Um,
You'll get to
Yep.
meet her neighbors. You can love on Eva and encourage her because listen, it's a Herculean task to
Yeah.
help people, right? It's a Herculean
Yeah.
task. So we need to support everybody that has that call, that drive, that passion. Listen, this is her ambitious goal. We're talking about this is her ambitious
It
goal
is.
to help others. Okay. So yes,
Yeah.
it will. It'll happen. God's got you, sis. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Mm.
That was God's still small voice, and you answered his call. God will show his hand, and the blessings of the Lord will guide you and overtake you. Absolutely. So I don't normally do this. For those of you who are my faith folks, you'll jump right in with me. For those of you who come from different faith traditions, just send your good love and vibes. I'm about to pray for my friend right now. And for the family, what's their name, Eva?
It's Veronica, Adrian,
Her
and
last name?
Rachel.
So,
I
family.
forgot their last name.
Okay. All right.
I forgot. She told me Veronica, Adrian, and Rachel.
Okay, Veronica, Adrian, and Rachel. We're going to pray for them, and we're going to pray for Eva right now too. I am asking all of my prayer warriors, I'm asking all of my energy healers to get your energy flowing and all your good healing vibrations and your strength. I need you to send her strength, and I need you to send her peace, and I need you to send her love. All right. And we're going to pray for her right now. So everybody, yep. Thank you. I see 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 you. And we're going to do that right now. Father, in the name that for me is above every name, I pray that you would guide her, God, and guard her heart as she continues to move forward, trying to help others. God, I thank you that every step of the path is purposeful, God. So even right now, though we're not happy about what has happened, God, we thank you for showing her where the cracks need to be shored up before much more money comes in. We thank you, God, for showing her what needs to be done now, because you will overflow her with the love and the support of so many people, and that will have been handled. That will be taken care of. So thank you, God. We actually can use this as a learning tool to take care of everything, secure the accounts, make sure that everything is in place and where it needs to be so this family can be helped. We know that it is your heartbeat to give people what they need, food, shelter, and clothing. And God, we thank you for the vessel of Eva, who has come to be that beacon of light, to be that encouragement, to be that person who's gone out to find a used RV so this family will have a place to stay so they won't be homeless, God. How many of us, God, have moved on other person's behalf in such a great and mighty way? Here's our opportunity to do that through Eva. So God, we thank you. We thank you for what she's doing. We thank you for what she's already done. We encourage her now through you and through your love and through your strength, God, for her to not get weary in well-doing, that she would continue, God, to reach out to these neighbors, that she will be filled from the top of her head to the soles of her feet by the love and encouragement of not only that family, but her friends, her empowerment tribe, now friends that she's come in contact with, all of those who would wish her well, that would speak her name, that would follow her on social media, that would send her notes of love and encouragement, that will eventually then fill her cup with financial resources and help so that she can help this family not be homeless. It's only what we do for others that lasts. So thank you for this opportunity to learn about the ways that we can help someone. We will sit and listen for your quiet and still voice to lead and guide us on what's next. We thank you for the love that's flowing, that can be felt right now. There is no fail in you, God. And for that, we are most grateful. And so we celebrate. We celebrate what's to come for this family. We celebrate this turning point for them. We celebrate what this will mean. And yes, while we grieve their losses, God, we thank you for life that wasn't lost, God. We thank you for the things that you can't replace that are still intact. So God, have your way. Be a shield around this family and this situation. We thank you right now that you are remedying whatever's happening with GoFundMe. Thank you that you are remedying whatever happening with this email address. And we thank you that it is already done, handled in the name of Jesus. And it's in that name that we pray. Amen.
Amen.
It's gonna be all right. It's gonna be all right. And like I said, she didn't have to even come on and share that. But in all, I thank you for your I thank you because maybe that's what you needed. You could have come on when it was, handled, and you could have just waited to come back on. But I thank you for sharing that, because I also think that this is another way for us to learn that even when we step out on what God has called us to do, it sometimes will be messy. It's sometimes your hands will be dirty, and sometimes you'll have setbacks. But don't get weary. It's going to work. It's going to be all right. You got this, girl. You got this. Thank you.
Thank you.
Pamela says they're praying for you, everybody. They're praying for everybody in the situation. God is going to do what God is going to do. Thank you, my love. I'm going to check in with you later, okay?
Okay. Thank you all.
Love.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you all. I appreciate you, because I know that you can feel her heart, and we have all stood in that place where you're just trying to do what's right because it's right, and then for some reason it takes a turn and it's not right in that one moment, but it will be righted, and we are going to continue to pray and stand with her and stand by her for that. Thank you for today's great show. I pray that you will take, when God uses people, it's a wonderful sight to see. Absolutely. Absolutely. I pray that you all will continue to use these mindset tips. Share them with your friends and family. I am going to do a broken down version of this. So if you want to wait for that, it'll be compacted just down to the 10 tips. So you can share that out, because I really believe that what's missing for a lot of us is more ambition. We really need to grab up that childlike wonder and tap into our creativity and tap into that thing that says, why not? That the thing that makes us question, why not? Why can't I do that? That's the ambition that allows you to fuel it with your drive and to get it done. So get it done, y'all. It's time to get some stuff done. I'll see you back here on Wednesday for our Release Devotional 2.0 at 10 a.m. I am going to send out a survey to those of you who are in the Empowerment Tribe so that I can find out, now that we are can I give her info once again? Absolutely. Let me put that banner up so that you can follow her. It's at Eva Jane Bunkley on Facebook. If you follow her, then you can follow the stories. Go back and look at the stories she's done with the family and follow the story of what she's trying to do to help them. I love you all for even asking and really, putting her in your heart today. So let's do this. Let's make sure we stay connected. If you're not a part of the tribe, go ahead and text the word release to 22999 so you can get all of my text messages and all of those things that keep us together. And I will update the tribe there on Eva's progression as well. And you can join us in the Facebook group, facebook.com/groups/empowerment tribe. We've got some new members. Can't wait to welcome them on our Friday show. Love you all to life. Thank you so much for everything that you do that just makes this time together special. I wouldn't trade you for the world. I love, love, love you to life. Take good care. Have a great rest of your day.
I'll be
Wrong one.
be your light.